Hey everyone! Today we're here in Utrecht, which is a lovely city in the Netherlands, about a 30-minute train ride from Amsterdam. It's a beautiful sunny day and we're excited to check out Utrecht and show it to you.
And so is Bindi.
After a quick and easy train ride from Amsterdam with our furry co-pilot Bindi, we arrived in this charming city and we're ready to explore. Our first stop was at Graaf Floris Cafe, a canal-side spot that's all about cozy vibes and delicious food. We got here early enough to get a great spot overlooking the canal and to try their famous dish applebollen, or apple dumplings. Our dumplings were served fresh and hot straight from the oven. These are such a treat. They take an entire apple, stuff it with nuts, lots of warm spices and raisins, and then fry it up. The result is this crunchy exterior with a soft, slightly sweet, but intensely flavored apple inside. It's quite warm and sunny today here in Utrecht, and these still hit the spot, but I can imagine that eating this on a crisp fall day would be just perfect. And let's not forget our caffeine fix. I ordered a cappuccino, and Mehmet ordered tea. They actually have a really cute setup for the tea here, where they bring you a box of different teas, and then you can make a tea bag yourself, either using one flavor or combining a few. You then let the tea bag steep in the boiling water and pour yourself a cup of delicious tea. It's like a DIY tea party for adults, which Mehmet very much enjoyed. After that great breakfast, we're off to explore more of Utrecht.
So as you walk around one of the main canals in the park here, you're going to stumble upon something super interesting, which is the UFO.
Yep, you heard that right, a UFO. It looks like it's about to crash land on top of a building. This random, yet iconic art installation has drawn a lot of attention since it was installed by a Dutch artist in 2000 as part of a mission to bring more art into public spaces in the city. The design is quite interesting and definitely fulfilled the purpose of getting people talking and interested in art. It appears to be hovering over the city and is pretty unmissable.
All right, now we're off to see another Utrecht celebrity, Miffy.
Utrecht is famous for many things, but one character in particular has stolen the spotlight lately, and that, of course, is Miffy. Known as Nijntje in Dutch, this adorable little rabbit is somewhat of a celebrity here in Utrecht. There's an entire museum here dedicated to Miffy, and she can be found in surprising places across the city, such as traffic lights and statues. We particularly enjoyed this little statue set inside a really pretty little garden. We love finding these quirky things in different cities, but Utrecht of course has some other famous sites that you're more likely to find in a history book than Miffy and a UFO. Standing tall over the city is the Dom Tower, Utrecht's most iconic landmark. It's undergoing some renovations right now, but you can still see plenty of it towering over the city. The tower was built in the 1300s, making it really old, even by European standards. It was originally built as part of the Cathedral St. Martin. The part of the cathedral connecting it to the tower was destroyed by a tornado in 1674, but the tower has continued to stand ever since. This is a really impressive piece of architecture. You can even climb its 464 steps for a panoramic view of the city. However, since we had Bindi with us, we decided to skip the climb. There is also a very cute little hidden garden behind the tower. This place, called the Pandhof Garden, also dates back to the 1300s, but it was long neglected until the late 1900s when a university student transformed it into the beautiful garden filled with plants and herbs that it is today. This is a really nice, relaxing spot to take a break from exploring the city. Speaking of medieval architectural marvels, Mehmet was particularly impressed by the old bridges that run through the city, particularly the St. Martin Bridge and the Gardbrug. These bridges are like something out of a fairy tale with their sturdy stone arches that have lasted for centuries. The bridges cross the Oudegracht, or Old Canal, which is no less impressive. This picturesque canal runs through the center of Utrecht and is lined with shops and cafes, and on a nice day like this one is full of people making the best of the great weather on their boats. We could have easily spent hours just wandering along the canal, admiring the beautiful buildings and soaking up the laid-back atmosphere.
One really cool thing about Utrecht is that there are basically restaurants, gyms, stores that are directly on the canal, which doesn't really happen in Amsterdam. Amsterdam, they're a little higher, but in Utrecht, they're directly on the canal.
While it's always nice to enjoy a meal in front of a canal, Utrecht also has plenty of great spots hidden along its narrow side streets, and we're headed to one of those spots today. This restaurant, called the Zakkendrager, is a really special place that we've been looking forward to trying for some time. The Zakkendrager has a garden-like setting, and when you're lucky enough to get a sunny day here in the Netherlands, this is exactly the type of place where you want to be. It's so bright and airy, and all of the surrounding plants just give you a really nice, calm feeling. We also love that they have seasonal menus featuring the freshest local ingredients. Today, I went with a goat cheese salad. This salad was huge and packed with so many fresh ingredients. I really love when salads have a lot of stuff in them, and this one did not disappoint. On top of the crispy lettuce, there was a huge chunk of creamy goat's cheese, surrounded by juicy peaches, crunchy almonds, tomatoes, pickled onions, and cucumbers. This was delicious and filling in the right way, where you're full after, but not uncomfortably stuffed. Mehmet decided to go with the beef carpaccio sandwich. This was a really large sandwich, absolutely stuffed with thinly sliced beef carpaccio, topped with capers, tomatoes, onions, and truffle mayo sauce. And as Mehmet described, every bite was like an explosion of flavor. The Zakkendrager is definitely a must visit if you're looking for a delicious and relaxing meal in Utrecht. After lunch, we headed to Griftpark for a nice stroll. This park is an excellent example of a city taking a less than desirable space and turning it into something the public can enjoy. This area used to be the site of an industrial gas factory that left the land here contaminated and polluted. After nearly a decade of cleanup efforts, the area was turned from a deserted wasteland into this beautiful park. The park really has everything. We loved walking along the pond with Bindi to check out the birds and the waterfowl. As we kept walking, we discovered that it also has a small farm with pigs, cows, and goats. Bindi was very interested in the smells coming from this part of the park. It also has lots of grassy and wooded areas and even a skate park.
Alright, we've been walking around Utrecht all day. It's actually pretty hot. It's like 90 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius. So we're gonna go get some coffee because we definitely need a bit of an afternoon pick-me-up.
Definitely.
We stopped into Village Coffee. This charming local spot has such a cool and relaxed vibe. You can grab a coffee made from beans that they roast in their own roastery, as well as full breakfast and lunch plates. Given the heat today, we're super happy that they have iced coffees, which was exactly what we need right now. Another great option for an afternoon pick-me-up is Keek Bakery. This bakery not only has great treats, but they also have a strong dedication to sustainability. They only bake on solar and wind energy and use completely organic products. For a quick treat, I had a cheese scone and Mehmet got a croissant. They warmed up the cheese scone and served it with a rich, creamy butter. This was such a nice snack. The scone had a soft texture and the edges were slightly crispy from being toasted. The butter melted instantly, adding a slight saltiness and lots of richness. I was very happy with this decision. The croissant was delicious as well. It had beautiful layers and a super buttery taste. We definitely needed these after all of the steps we've put in so far today. Keek Bakery is proof that you can enjoy delicious treats without compromising your values. It's a place where you can feel good about what you're eating, and that's something we truly appreciate.
Alright, we've had a great day. We're gonna finish up our time in Utrecht with some dinner and then head back to Amsterdam.
Let's go!
For dinner, we headed to Guy's, a plant-based restaurant that we had heard some great things about. We started off with 2 of their homemade drinks, an elderflower lemonade and a jasmine iced tea. These were so refreshing after walking around in the heat all day. The food here wasn't like other vegan restaurants we've been to before. Here, it was really inventive and full of flavor, texture, and color. Mehmet's courgette was a standout. It was zucchini spaghetti, but tasted much better than any zoodles that we've ever tried to make at home. It was topped with a slightly spicy tomato sauce and paired with some plant-based arancini, which were insanely delicious. I went with the crunchy eggplant. They describe this as an eggplant schnitzel, coated in a breadcrumb topping and fried until perfectly crunchy. It was paired with some chickpea fries and fresh tomatoes and cucumbers. We also shared an order of their freshly cooked fries, because if you've watched us for any period of time, you know that we can't pass up fresh fries. Guys definitely exceeded our expectations, and the staff were all very friendly. This is definitely a must-try spot in Utrecht, whether you're vegan or not.
One thing that's definitely different about Utrecht is that it is much quieter, at least for now. It is a university town, so I'm not really sure if it keeps this way, but right now on a Monday morning, it's very quiet.
It literally has all the nice things about Amsterdam, but with so fewer people. It's really nice.
It is really nice.
Honestly, we're just really impressed with Utrecht. It's everything you think of when you think of a quintessential Dutch city. And given that it's so much less busy and touristy than Amsterdam, you can really enjoy yourself here, even with your furry friend. Speaking of that, Utrecht is also really dog-friendly. Bindi had a great time exploring along with us. It was warm out, so we ate outside most places, but she was allowed inside as well, and she was also often quickly given water as soon as we sat down somewhere. Taking a dog on the train in the Netherlands is not a problem. The only tricky thing is that we have to take a metro to get to the trains at Central Station right now, and sometimes the elevators can be hard to find. Since dogs can't ride escalators, we had to carry Bindi up and down them. We didn't mind carrying her, but we're not sure if she enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed exploring Utrecht with us. It's truly a city that has something for everyone. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see where we're heading next.